Get your sniper rifles ready for quickscoping and prepare to fire in the hole! We're taking a quick peek at CS2D. CS2D is a game with a lot of history. First released in 2004 by Unreal Software, the game's been battle-hardened and regularly updated for over a decade. Unreal Software is a company focused on creating freeware games, titles that are full complete packages available completely free, unlike other free-to-play games that attempt to make money off of microtransactions. While not all of their projects are winners, CS2D has managed to stick around, possibly due to its perceived connection to Valve Corporation and a bit of riding off the coattails of the game that inspired it. If you haven't guessed by now, CS2D stands for Counter-Strike 2D, and aims to be a complete recreation of the famous Half-Life 1 mod turned esport juggernaut known as Counter-Strike. The game is a demake, or an attempt to recreate a more modern game with older software and limitations. The idea of demakes have been around for a long time, with many of them being hit or miss. Titles like Gang Garrison or ASCII Fortress 2 try to take Valve's other multiplayer shooter, Team Fortress 2, and bring them into the second dimension, but those are both fan-made projects. While there have been commercial demakes before, such as Lucius Demake by the developers of the Lucius series, Shiver Games, you don't come across them all that often, and it seems like CS2D is completely separate from both Valve and Counter-Strike, even though it takes a few things from that game. After all, Counter-Strike has been around for a long time and had many different iterations, from the original Half-Life 1 mod to its standalone release and even attempts to create a single-player version of the game. Counter-Strike has been created and recreated again and again throughout the years, with the latest version, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, having been released in 2012. The game still remains popular to this day and is constantly in the top 10 games played on Steam according to SteamCharts.com. Trying to remove a dimension from this tried-and-true first-person shooter formula is an interesting concept, and CS2D does it rather well. While I'm not a big fan of Counter-Strike to begin with, let alone its demolition game mode, I do have to say that Unreal Software managed to make a game that feels just as tense and satisfying as the original, and as frustrating. The main differences come down to the fact that the game is top-down instead of being first-person. Players don't have to worry about arcing grenades to bounce off of walls and ceilings, nor worry too much about compensating for recoil. All of the weapons seem to make an appearance, as well as modified maps and accurate game modes. Classic maps like Dust 2 and Inferno are of course included, although slightly different in order to work from a top-down perspective, and everything from demolition to gun game are available to play. Unreal Software didn't stop there though, they kept going and adding even more game modes. Deathmatch and Team Deathmatch are rather standard and self-explanatory, but Construction and Zombies are a bit more in-depth. Construction lets players not only shoot the crap out of each other, but also build turrets, walls, ammo containers, and even teleporters. It plays kind of like a tower defense game, where players have to work together to break the enemy's defenses while also building and maintaining their own. It's a neat concept, but not executed as well as it could have been. The basic game mode of Construction is Capture the Flag, and a round only ends when a team caps the flag multiple times. With decent team sizes and the possibility to build stuff practically anywhere and almost limitlessly by every player on a team, Construction can quickly turn into a long-lasting stalemate where neither team is able to do much of anything. I feel that there's a lot of possibilities for a game mode like this, but there's just gotta be a better overall objective than capturing a flag. It really just doesn't work. Zombies, on the other hand, is more focused on killing stuff than building it. The game mode consists of two teams, the zombies and the non-zombies. At the start, zombies are very much outnumbered, but zombies turn anyone they kill into a zombie. The non-zombies get to use guns, but have to find them within the level, making the start of each round a frantic scramble for weapons. It's fun for what it is, but there only seems to be one map people actually play it on, and that's a bit of a shame. That's something I noticed overall. While there are a large amount of maps in CS2D and even a map editor for people to make their own, players generally only stick to the bog standard Counter-Strike maps like Dust 2. Many times I had difficulty trying to find any server with players not running Dust 2. I get it, that map's considered a classic and Counter-Strike staple, but for me, it gets real old real fast. What else gets tiring quickly is how the game handles sightlines. In a 3D game, players can see other players at the end of a street or hallway rather easily as long as they are looking in that direction. In 2D, however, that's not always the case. People can only see so much of a level at a time from the top-down perspective, and players can't see all of a long area. This gives CS2D a big problem with players dying to enemies they never got the chance to see because they were never on the screen. Other top-down games have this issue as well. One that quickly comes to mind are some levels from Hotline Miami 2, but at least that game wasn't multiplayer and let you respawn quickly. CS2D's main game mode of Demolition gives players only one life per round, and if they die, they gotta wait for the round to be over before they can play again, however long that'll take. Getting killed early on by someone you never saw, spamming bullets down a hallway is just frustrating as crap. None of the weapons let you see farther, not even the sniper rifle. It just blacks out most of your screen and increases damage to make up for it. Weapons like machine guns, which generally aren't all that great in Counter-Strike proper, now become rather useful, since anyone with map knowledge can just sit at a choke point and shoot at players off-screen in hopes of getting lucky. CS2D does try to do some things to alleviate the spam by letting servers turn on a fog of war option that limits what players can see based on where they're facing. This makes the game more like a first-person shooter, since in those games you can only see what's within your view range, but while the fog of war can make for some tense fights, it doesn't really work that well since people with map knowledge weren't using visibility for spamming shots anyway. It also can be very difficult to tell which walls can be shot over and which ones can't, and there's no way to crouch behind cover, so you have to find out the hard way if you already don't know. Just like its 3D counterpart, CS2D has grenades and lets you know it as often as possible. I swear I have never heard that crappy fire in the hole sound clip from Counter-Strike more in my life. Every 5 seconds at the start of a match, it's fire in the hole, freaking fire in the gosh dang hole. It is annoying. Overall, CS2D does a lot of good things and is a rather faithful recreation of its source material, but creates problems the original didn't have without doing much to try to fix them. I did find myself enjoying the game more than Counter-Strike, since people didn't seem to take it quite as seriously, and game modes like Gun Game and Construction made for some fun moments, but I doubt I'll play much more of it. The issues I have with Counter-Strike remain in this version of the game. I don't like that people only play one map. I don't like that there is no way to get health back after taking damage. I don't like that people pretty much only play Demolition, where you get one life. I don't like dying to something I had no hope of seeing at the start of a round and having to wait 2 minutes or so before I can play again. And I don't like that only some weapons are actually useful while a majority are ignored. If you don't like Counter-Strike, I doubt this game will change that. It didn't for me, but then again, it is free with no microtransactions, so if you're curious, just play it already. Thanks for watching. Please let me know what you think of the game or this video in the comment section. I'm MegapieMan, and I'll talk to you guys later. Want to see more quick peeks? Click on the video on the left for Remnith, a first-person shooter where the enemies feed off your inaccuracy. Or click on the video on the right for Ruiner, a fast-paced and lethal twin-stick shooter brawler RPG thing.